Irie ATL.
Atlanta's link to the Caribbean. You're listening to Irie ATL Radio, Atlanta's link to the Caribbean.
Bishop Lear, God bless you, man of God. This is the fashion representative. What a word. Bishop Lear in my free life, and now watch all things are below. Revelation time is a go. Wickedness my earth is so. Boy, I tell me now, Bishop Lear, listen, you're just a free life, and now watch all things are below. Revelation time is a go. Wickedness my earth is so. Oh my God. Woo! Now what is now worship, trying to look at God. They make a drop beat. They make a stop beat. Let's make everything shall go wrong. Jesus and God. Me back I fat about you up. We might think you're like a link up in first love. Not change them like a smoke before your soul. We just a free life. And now watch all things are below. Revelation time is a go. We give it
I'm on twice. Hold on.
Revelation time is a go. We give it one. You change your life enough. In a them your time you up be wise enough. Can't afford this slip from backside enough. Fire brimstone it never nice enough. Oh no, you're getting
What's up, people? This your man, Chris
and
Blakely.
Hi,
This is Landry Johnson.
the fire I got at it at the burn them. They come to no mind and choose. Stop there, my God. You're a free life.
You're listening to Irie ATL Radio. Irie ATL. Atlanta's #1 Caribbean station. Oh yeah.
Good evening, Atlanta and the world. Good evening to you.
I'm so in love with you, Jesus. Yeah, not find the right words to express. My body young with great intent. Just to get some.
Good evening to you, Atlanta. Good evening to you and the world, wherever you are. Good evening to you. This is your brother from another mother this Monday evening.
I'm so in love with you, Jesus. Yeah, not find the right words to express.
That's how we do it in a Monday evening as you join us. A little late start, but we are here.
Just to get some more of that sweet presence. I want to give you excellence. So when I worship, it comes like sweet incense. I don't want to eat. Oh yeah. I'm so in love with you, Jesus. cannot find the right words to express my body with great intent, just to get some more of that sweet presence. I want to give you excellence. So when I worship, it comes like sweet incense. I don't want my iniquity to separate me from you. So I choose the perfect will, as I know it pleases you. I want to give you give you sweet love. Oh, only like a shit, like you over shit. That's how you take me, Jesus. That's how you take me. I don't want to push you away from this level. So I close my eyes so I can see only you. Jesus, you're everything to me. Your love and compassion always surround me. You're the reason I know I am free. So I'm walking in your way, 'cause I don't want you to leave me. I just want to give you sweet love. That's how you make me. Oh, that's how you make me. I just wanna give you sweet love. That's how you make me. That's how you make me. I just wanna give you love. That's how you make me. Yeah, good evening to you, Atlanta. Good evening to you on the world, wherever you are. So delighted that you could join us around the world as we introduce you to another Monday evening. Just getting warmed up, Brother Nate and Seth. My dear beloved First Ladies and Seth with me tonight. If you feel it, nothing out has your problems. Number here is 706-550-1642. We got a great show lined up for you. Going to talk about water tonight. I know Brother Nate is just coming out of the Washington, D.C. this evening, right inside of the cold part of Atlanta, from cold to cold. We're going to hear a lot about the conference, what take place, and what is about to happen, and what is happening right now. Good evening to you, Brother Dwight. Good evening to you, 89.1 FM. Good evening to you, the Powerhouse crew. Good evening to you.
It is a three B's, but it's only one tonight alongside with my beautiful wife right at my side. Huh?
Maybe broken and feel bad, but your strength will surely come in the midst of all your heartache. Your battles are already won. Just remember, in the hearts
To those on Facebook, YouTube, and all over the different places that you're linking from, good evening to you.
is the answer. God answers prayer. He sees every weakness, every trial, every mountain and sea, and He sees every tear, and He finds them for me. I get down on my knees, and I say, Savior, help me. Because one thing is for certain, is my God answers prayer. Oh, He sees every weakness, every trial, every mountain and sea, and He sees every teardrop, and He finds them for me. Just get down on your knees and say, Savior, help me please. Because one thing is for certain, is my God answers prayer.
Yeah, good evening to you, brother Nate. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm wonderful. What about you?
I am great. Couldn't be better. I want to welcome you another evening and this big platform where we do our thing the best way we can. I have a special guest in studio with me tonight you have never met before. And this my dear beloved wife is side me inside of the studio tonight. So we're gonna have a great program, a little late start, but we thank God for the opportunity that we can come together another evening tonight. I think we're gonna talk about water, and we have a lot of the guests maybe joining us later on in the program. But I am grateful to God to see you another evening. How you been doing?
Oh, I've been great. What about you?
I am fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better night. You can see I am keeping warm.
Well, that's a good thing. Looking
Yeah,
at the weather.
yeah. And this is Lady Blair, what they call her.
Hi, how are
Want to
you?
meet Nate?
Oh,
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How are you?
Oh, wonderful. Well,
Nice.
good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yes, sir. So, what is going on? What new on the black? What is happening? What would you like to for us to bounce off? What is hot in the press?
Okay, well,
Yeah, person.
there are so many things to talk about as far as water is concerned. You know, a couple weeks ago when I came on, we spoke about different things going on with water. A lot of people don't realize that water is life. Here is a brochure that we put out that's called Water is Life. And on here we show the product. And as a matter of fact, while we're talking, I'm using one of our water pitchers. Well, sorry, this is a water bottle. But what you do with this is that when you go to a restaurant, or if you're just walking around, my brother works at a grocery store, big grocery store, and he takes this to work with him every day. And
Uh-huh.
instead of buying bottled water, he just goes to the tap, takes this off, and it just runs tap water in here. This holds 28 ounces. And as a result of using this, you no longer have to use tap water anymore. I'm sorry, bottled water anymore.
Water.
You just put the tap water in here, and there's a, let me take it off again, because there's a filter on here.
Uh-huh.
And this filter, the blue filter you see there,
Uh-huh.
it's down in the water. It actually takes out up to 99.99% of the toxins that's in the water. So all that chlorine, fluoride, there are things that we don't even know. Well, most of us never heard of them. PFOAs, these are what's called forever chemicals. These came from the factories that have dumped toxins in the soil in these landfills. The biggest case we heard of it was Flint, Michigan. There was so much toxins dumped into their landfills that went down into the groundwater, and that groundwater, of course, came to their homes. As a result, people started dying because it was poisoning the people. So a lot of these companies, I guess I'll just say they don't have a conscience. They just want to make their products. The product they were making was the product Teflon. And Teflon, we all thought was a great, great convenient product, which we mostly will agree that it was convenient because now our foods don't stick to the pans. But the chemicals that was used to coat that Teflon pan with was a very toxic chemical. And what it does when it gets into the body, it messes up a lot of things in the body. And as a matter of fact, it can cause death. It causes learning deficiencies in children. It causes a lot of sickness, and it ultimately causes cancer. So people in Flint were dying, and they were saying, why is it that all the people in this particular area are getting sick? Why are all the children under, they are slow in school? What's going on in this particular area? And the story was broken in a newspaper. And when the newspaper brought light to it, people, the community started looking at it. And then the governor and so other people started calling for investigations. What's going on in this area that the people are suffering? And they found it was from the toxins that was in the water. Now, many of us, we became awakened because of Flint, but believe it or not, other areas of the country have the same problem. Nobody has publicized it. Nobody has talked about it. But there are several areas in the country with water as bad, or in some cases worse than Flint, Michigan. And unless somebody discovers it, or some newspaper or television station talks about it, people go on and they keep getting poisoned by the water. I think it was yesterday I got an email from something in, I think it was Washington State, that they have discovered forever chemicals in their water. There's another city in, I think it's Battle Creek in Michigan, that the governor has declared their water unsafe. And they are sending 35,000 gallons of bottled water to the city every month, I believe, every week, every month, because they've told the people, do not drink the water, don't even boil it. It's not going to help because it's toxic. Now, a lot of people don't realize that even though you might not be drinking it, but you have a lot of other, I'm just going to say something that's stupid, really, you have a lot of other mouths on your body. The pores in your skin are mouths. They take in water. They are actually, the skin is an organ, and anything you put on your skin goes into your body. So even though they might not be drinking the water, but they are still taking baths in the water, if they're still taking showers in the water, they almost still could drink it because the water is actually going through the pores of the skin and it's entering the body. So the problem is when you pollute the water, you cannot just stop drinking it to keep from poisoning your body. You can't take baths in it. A lot of people have become poisoned with certain chemicals that got rubbed on their skin in error or whatever. And it actually, when it entered the skin, it ended up in the body and it poisoned them. Well, that's the same thing about water. Whether you're taking a bath in it or whether you're drinking it, if it comes in contact with your body and it's poison, it's gonna, I won't necessarily say it'll kill you, but in many cases it will, but it's gonna harm you in ways that are not natural because you're actually poisoning your organs because of the water. Yeah. So what I was showing you here is that this is a very convenient item. You just take it and you can squeeze it and the water will come out of here. If I wanted to share water with somebody, I could squeeze it into a cup and I could share the water. Or if I just wanted to use it as a personal device, I can just take it and use it as a straw. And the water that's going to come through here, if I test it, and maybe next time I'm going to, myself and one of my associates, Wally, we're going to do a video and we're going to show how when the water comes out of here, it has an alkalinity rating of 9.5.
Wow.
You might say the medium alkalinity, because the alkalinity runs from 1 to 14. So the medium is 7. So anything that's 7 is not acid and it's not alkaline. Our bodies work off of like 7.3. The body is known as 7.3 alkalinity. So anything below 7.3, when it goes into our body, it's going to start turning our body acidic. Anything above 7.3 starts turning our body alkaline. Now, another explanation of alkalinity is oxygen. When you have your body as alkaline, you're providing a lot more oxygen into your body. And oxygen is a healer. It actually burns away and it kills a lot of those things, bacteria and other things that are in your body. So when your body is alkaline, it actually will start to heal itself. As a matter of fact, a lot of naturopaths and other doctors have agreed that things like cancer and other diseases cannot live or thrive or flourish in an alkaline environment. So if your body is acidic, your body becomes a host and becomes a welcome host for things that harm the body, because the things that harm the body love acidity. When we eat a lot of sugar, sugar becomes acid. Body feeds off of things like cancer and other things feed off of that sugar.
Yes.
You want to do things and to keep your body as alkaline as possible. There are areas in the world that the people drink alkaline water, they eat a lot of alkaline foods, and many of those people live to be an average of 90 to 100 years old. There are countries like the Western countries, United States, Canada, UK, places like that. You know, we spend a lot of money, especially in the United States. We spend more money for medicines and drugs than just about all the other countries in the world put together. But we are, when you look at the sickness scale, we are up on the top of the sickness scale. So how can we be so sick with all the money we're spending for medicines? Then you have somebody in the bush, in Jamaica, in some of the other places, and they're not spending all that money for medicine. As a matter of fact, they don't even, a lot of times don't even have doctors, but they are healthy. They outrun everybody. You know, let's look at the sprinters and the runners from Jamaica. You know, these are some of the healthiest, fastest people, you know, in the world, and they aren't on medication. You know, it's weird now that when you get to a certain age, you go to the doctor or you go to any kind of health checkup. The first thing they ask you is, what meds are you on? I mean, it's like it's a rite of passing that you have to be on some kind of meds. And if you say none, they look at you like, are you crazy? You know, what are you doing? You're not taking any kind of medication? And, you know, you say, no, why? Why do I need medication? You know, it's become a Western culture that you have to take medications. And it's not realized by most people that a lot of their problems are coming from the side effects of the medications. You look at a commercial on television and they say, okay, Dr. Blair, okay,
Yeah.
you got a cold. Okay, well, why don't you take this? And you say, okay, is it going to help me get rid of my cold? They say, yes, it will. Then you say, well, what are the side effects? Well, the side effects are, you know, you might have a heart attack, your arm might fall off, you might die. You say, wait a minute, all I have is a cold. If I go home and take some lemons and honey or some things like that, the cold will go away. But no, you need to take our medication. And you say, but the side effects are horrific. You know, why do I need to take a chance and take that with those kind of side effects when I can do something natural and it can go away? But that's the misunderstanding that most Westerners have about medications. You know, they believe that anytime something ails you, there's got to be a pill that you can take that's going to make it just go away. No, we want instant things. You know, we want instant coffee, instant tea, and instant success on anything that bothers us. We want to take a pill to get rid of it. But as a result of us taking those pills, we're getting sicker because the side effects are starting to kill us. You get some type of ailment and they give you, let's say, I just use an example, you get high blood pressure. You get diagnosed for high blood pressure. So they give you some medication for the high blood pressure. And after you take it for 2 or 3 years, you go to the doctor. The doctor says, "Oh my goodness, you're developing diabetes." And you say, "Wait a minute, where did that come from? I'm not overeating sugar or whatever." But you don't realize that the side effect for most high blood pressure medicines is diabetes. Or if you start off on diabetes medicine, the side effect is usually high blood pressure because those organs work together. And when you disrupt the natural function of those organs with these chemical medications, oftentimes it's going to cause a side effect of another debilitating disease. So what happens, you start out with, let's say, some high blood pressure medicine. And then 2 or 3 years later, you get another medication that's supposed to help, you might say, overcome the side effects that the high blood pressure medicine caused. And now you got 2. So now the 2 together cause more side effects. And you go back maybe another year later and they say, "Oh, well, you got this. Okay, let me subscribe this for what you have now." And now you have 3 pills. And now the 3 of those together start working. And before you know it, you're like a friend of mine. He goes to the VA hospital. And when he comes back from his checkup, he has a whole little shopping bag full of medications. I've counted 10 and 15 medications in the bag. And I said, "Well, God, I mean, how long have you been taking these?" He said, "Well, it started out as 1. Then when I went back again, it was 2. And the next thing I know, it was 4. The next thing was 6 or 8. And before you know it, he's walking out with you would think he went to a department store and was shopping for clothes. He has actually a shopping bag full of medications. Now, this seems natural to the doctors. It seems natural to people because, we have been, you might say, cultured or raised to believe that the doctors have some natural cure for everything that ails us. Well, let's go back years ago, 50 years ago. I know you probably weren't even born, Apostle, back then. but we'll go back 50 years ago. People didn't have doctors. They went in the bush. They went in the woods, and they got roots, and they got different bark from trees, and all kind of things that they dug up, a plant that grew. Even you look at moringa, leaves off of trees that they would take and boil and make teas out of. And these things overcame the problems they had.
Yes.
Well, most people think, well, we're in a modern age and those are old time remedies.
Mm-hmm.
And, we moved on from that. Things have gotten better because we have doctors now, we have laboratories, and, these people have a better way. But believe it or not, people have gotten sicker since the time of these medications than they were when they were using natural healing. But we all believe that the doctor knows best. And to be honest, that's not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors are great. If I broke my leg, I'm not going to go to a mechanic and say, "Hey, fix my leg." I'm going to go to a doctor, because, they have a solution for the broken leg. But if I get sick, they don't always have the best solution for that. Because now it's become too commercialized. It's all about money.
Yes.
Doctors a lot of times even get little bonuses. One of the representatives comes in from a company and he says, "Okay, I'm going to give you a bunch of samples here." And you give these out to your people and you tell them it's the best thing since ice cream. And all of a sudden you start writing prescriptions for this. And we got a little trip to Jamaica. We got a little trip to London, a little trip to Italy or whatever. That if you write enough prescription for this, you're going to win this trip. So now the doctor's looking more at what he can benefit from than what it's really doing for his patients. I mean, that's just human nature in a sense. But when you take an oath that your job or your whole essence is to heal people, you should really believe enough in that oath that your whole goal is to make sure that people become well. Not your whole goal is to make more money. There are doctors I've talked to that say, "Oh my goodness, I got I got a Mercedes payment I got to have by the first of the month. It's already the 24th. And so I got to do some kind of operation. And so here comes Nate walking in the office, and the doctor just said, I got to do an operation. He does an x-ray on me real quick. Oh, Nate, you need an operation. Your appendix is kind of stopped or whatever, because I become the vehicle for that car payment. And, that's not always the case, but a lot of times the money overrides the goal of getting people well. I've heard I've gotten a lot of information from doctor friends of mine that said they're getting bonuses for telling people to get vaccinated. Every vaccination that they do in the office, there's a bonus. Every time they prescribe somebody, diagnose somebody that's having a certain ailment, a certain disease, and they treat it, they get bonuses. So it's money in disease where there's no money in cures. Cancer, for example, I know someone that applied for a grant from the American Cancer Association. And the grant, they showed me the paper they got back, excuse me, said this grant is for research. And we would give you X amount of dollars for the research and things that you can come up with to show people how to be as comfortable as possible with cancer, how to do things to help themselves once they are prescribed as having cancer. And they had on there specifically on the grant paper, no cures. Now, if they're given a grant and they were really trying to cure people of cancer, why did they put on the grant paper, no cures? In other words, if you came up with a cure for cancer and your cure worked, they don't want it. Why? Because cancer is not a disease, it's a business. Sickness is not a disease, it's a business. And if all of a sudden you walk into the American Cancer Association or some big cancer organization or a major cancer hospital, and you say, okay, here's the cure. If you pass this out to all the patients that come in, they're going to be cured and cancer will be over. You just put them out of business. And these are institutions. And these are companies that employ thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to do cancer research. But what are they researching if they don't want a cure? They are doing all kind of, doctors are employed in cancer hospitals and nurses and all kind of employees. So you're talking about thousands of people that work for these institutions. And if all of a sudden a cure comes up, they don't want it because you're going to put them out of the business. And the business of cancer is what they're after. That's where the money is. So, it's like years ago, people came up with solutions that cars were getting like, 20 miles a gallon, 15 miles a gallon. Back in the day, we had those big muscle cars, GTOs and all those cars that really burned rubber and so forth. When I was young, everybody wanted one of those muscle cars. Well, they didn't get but 10 miles a gallon probably, but gas was cheap. So we didn't look at the fact that they used a lot of gas because gas was cheap. So then some people came up with solutions that you could change the gas from maybe 10 miles a gallon to 50 miles a gallon. And I know somebody who came up with one of those solutions. He took it to the gas companies. He took it to some of the car manufacturers, and they gave him money just to take it and put it on the shelf or take it and throw it away because they didn't want solutions. Gasoline was a business. And if somebody came up with a solution that made people use less gas, that means that was less profit that the gasoline companies would make. So they didn't want that solution. So they would buy it from you oftentimes and throw it away or put it on the shelves because they were not interested in that solution. Same thing is going on now, like I said, with the medical business, is that people come up with solutions. Dwight, who is on the call here, he's introduced me to a lot of solutions that his mother, who's 99 years old, I believe, has come up with over the years.
Yeah.
And these are solutions that people go to doctors and spend a lot of money and buy a lot of prescriptions. And these are some things that naturally people had. Like I said, they go in the backyard and depending on where you are and get some of these solutions. But of course, a doctor, a medical person would not recommend these. And they'll oftentimes say, well, when you take that, you have a risk of getting sick. Well, people have been taking this stuff for hundreds of years and they didn't get sick, they got well. So, in other words, you've got to take care of yourself. And we're talking about water. Water is medicine.
Yes.
We were designed to drink water. As a matter of fact, our bodies are between 70 and 80% water. So if your body is made out of water and 70 to 80% of your body is water, you want to coat that water body with polluted water, or do you want to put pure, clean water in that body?
Water.
Yeah. So, the thing is, since our bodies are 80% water, we should try to operate by putting the best water in our bodies. Dr. Blair, if you went out and you probably already have one, but you went out and bought a Bentley. I don't think you go to the dirt cheap gas station and say, well, put the cheapest gas and you put the cheapest oil and the cheapest parts you can find. My Bentley needs fixing. No, you go and you want to get the best gas, you're going to get the best oil, you're going to get the best of everything. So we will treat our cars, which can be replaced, better than we treat our bodies. We'll go and we'll get some bottled water in the store because it has Dasani on it, Aquafina, or whatever, and we don't even question where it came from. It's good water, and most people don't know that industry is not regulated. They could take the water hoses and have a line going down an assembly line, and somebody standing there with a water hose filling up these bottles. We don't know, and there's no regulation to tell us that that's not what's going on. For instance, Dasani water is Atlanta City water. So I live in Atlanta. I'm actually in Stone Mountain, so I don't get the Atlanta City water. But if I live in Atlanta, I can turn on my tap and get Dasani water because Dasani they have a contract. That's Coca-Cola water. And Coca-Cola is headquartered out of Atlanta. They have a contract with the city of Atlanta that they actually run certain pipes over there of Atlanta water, and they actually put filtration in the Atlanta water system. So Atlanta water, and I think it's New York, have the best water in the country because of these companies that Dasani and Aquafina that are using that city's water. Now, when you get the Dasani water, they add a few minerals in there to make it taste better, and to bring back some of the natural essence of water, like the minerals that are normally in water, but it's Atlanta City water. So it's nothing pristine about this bottled water. There are certain companies that even picture some pristine fountain or some pristine waterfall, and they show you that in the background when they're doing their commercials about their water. So you say, oh my God, I've got XYZ water, and it comes from some crystal spring that's found out in Palestine or whatever. So I'm drinking some blessed great water. And it came out of the Chattahoochee River. Or it came out of some other river somewhere. And it's city water. So it's nothing special about bottled water. It's non-regulated. So in some cases, back when they first started with the thing on bottled water, a lot of city waters were better than the bottled water. And they almost had a war going on. The bottled water companies were saying that the city water was poison, and the city was saying that the bottled water was not good. So there was a battle going on because one was, to be honest, was not much better than the other one. And that battle is still a reality now when we're drinking bottled water. And next week I'll come on. I'll probably have some of those videos where we'll do some tests on water. There are things like, well, let's take something like Sprite. Sprite is not water, but to some people, because it's clear like water, some people say, well, I don't drink water, I drink Sprite. To them, because it's clear, it replaces water. Well, Sprite is very acidic. As a matter of fact, on the scale, it comes to, I think, like 2.5, 3, or 3 on the alkalinity scale. So if you drink enough Sprite, you're going to literally kill yourself, to be honest, because you're going to make your body so acid, it's not going to be able to recover almost. Wow. Because again, our body is 80% water. And if you're filling that 80% up with acid water or Sprite or some soda, and most people don't realize that you can drink a Sprite, you can drink the Coke if you want, as long as you drink 32 glasses of water behind it, and you'll neutralize. So if you're thinking about going out getting that Sprite or that Coke, go ahead, but just drink 32 glasses of water behind it, and you'll neutralize the bad effects that have been caused by that soda. So that's the bad thing. And we, again, when I show you the demonstration that we'll do, maybe next week, I get my partner, Wali.
Yeah.
We'll do it from the office, and we'll show you a little demonstration that shows you the acidity of the water that you buy, the water that comes out of the tap. Now, tap water also has another element in it. It has chlorine in it. And you're going to find sometimes you'll find chlorine in some of the bottled water. And chlorine was put in there to kill the bacteria in the water. Now, there's a lot of bacteria that sometimes accumulates in the water. And the fact that the water is nothing, it's always reused. The water you're drinking came out of somebody's, I know it's not bad to say, it came from somebody's toilet. It came from somebody's dishwater. It came from the overflow from people washing the cars and so forth. As a matter of fact, this was something that kind of, it was a wake-up call to me. But when I realized, I said, that's real. The fact that there is no new water. The water we're drinking is the same water that Adam and Eve drank. There's no new water. The same water that was created from the beginning is the same water we have now. So we have not taken care of the water. We poisoned it. And that's why there's so much polluted water now, because when man stopped becoming the keeper of nature and stop being the keeper of all the things that we were given by the Creator, we started polluting things. That's why we got polluted air, we got polluted water, we got polluted everything. Because it looks like instead of us being put here to cultivate and make the earth better, to make our bodies better, we've been engaged in a campaign of polluting everything. Polluted our water. You look up in the sky during the day and you see these planes flying by. After the plane, you see at first I thought it was smoke. I said, God, Delta and American, these guys need to buy some new planes to get those motors fixed, because those planes are smoking bad. And then I found out it's not smoke. These are chemicals they put in the fuel of the plane, so that as the jets burn these chemicals, they create what's called chemtrails in the air. And these are things, it looks like, some of these planes they used to use to ride in the sky. So it gives trails that's in the sky. But these trails are chemicals that are coming back down to the earth. And many of these chemicals that they have analyzed in these chemtrails are things like aluminum, which causes problems in animals and humans. People that have Alzheimer's, a lot of times they've taken in too much aluminum. As a matter of fact, that's a good thing to know, because if you go and you buy deodorant, if you see that it has a high content of aluminum, leave it on the shelf.
Yeah.
The reason being is because aluminum is a major cause of Alzheimer's. And like I said earlier, when you put something on your skin, it's going to end up in your body. So you take that deodorant and you put it on your skin, it's going to end up inside your body. Now, the problem now, because they are spraying aluminum in the air, when you drink water, where did that water come from? It came from some natural stream or some river or a creek or whatever, and it's been sprayed with chemtrails, and they're spraying aluminum, lead, and other chemicals down to the earth, and it's in your water. You're drinking something that's going to poison you. Okay? So when you're drinking, even these bottled waters, the city waters, you're drinking things that you had no control over, and they've been poisoned. So you got to get some type of system that can filtrate the water. There are a lot of filters that are on the market, and most of the filters, one real popular one, God, this name of it still, but you can buy it in Sam's, and you can buy it in Costco. Brita, I believe, yes, Brita. And it's a very popular filter. And the idea of filtering your water is good, but if it doesn't do a good job of filtration, then what's the benefit of it? Brita, and there's another couple ones that are about that price range. They actually filter about 28% of all the toxins out of the water. So if somebody's told you that well, I'm going to give you some water that's been poisoned, but I have something that can take 28% of the poison out, you say, well, that's good, but what about the other 72%? So you're taking out less I mean, you're not even taking out half of the bad things that's in the water. You're taking out 28%. So it's not doing a very good job on taking all the toxins out. We have a system, and it's called Care Blue. And our Care Blue water is filtered through a system. And as a matter of fact, the filter I showed you that's in this bottle,
Yes.
it takes out 99.9% of the toxins. Now, that 1% is still there. I mean, would you rather have 1% of the toxins in there? Would you rather have 72% of the toxins still in the water that's going to come from a Brita or so forth? It takes out those things like the lead, the aluminum, the PFOAs. That's what I talked about earlier that was killing the people in Flint, Michigan, and so forth. It takes all of that out of the water. It's been tested by over 300 laboratories around the world to remove all these things from the water. So, that's what we offer when we talk about pure water. The water that comes from, this and some of the other products we have are going to create a 9.5 alkalinity in the water. So you're going to drink alkaline water. Now, those people that cannot drink alkaline water because they're taking some medication, and sometimes the doctor said the alkaline water will make time-release medication release the medicine too fast. So because of medication, some people can't drink alkaline water. So we do have a filter that you can put in our pitcher, our bottle, or any of our products that will pretty much make the water neutral. In other words, it's going to make it anywhere between 7.2 and 7.5, which is the natural alkalinity of the human body. But it's removed all the toxins out. So whether we have a person that needs to drink alkaline water at 9.5, or we have somebody that because of medication cannot drink alkaline water, we have a product that can give you either or both. There are some people that say, well, when I'm taking my medication, I want to take neutral water. So they will use a bottle with a neutral filter in it, and they'll take the medication. Then we have them, they say, but all the rest of the water I drink, I want it to be alkaline. So they will take one of our other filters and that has an alkaline filter, and then they would drink the alkaline water for just normal situations. So we have a solution that gives you, number one, alkaline water, and number two, which I probably need to reverse it, but one is as important as the other, clean, unadulterated, non-toxic water with all the poisons taken out. And again, we also have the alkalinity factor. So you get clean water and you get alkaline water.
Yeah.
And the beauty of these is that it's not expensive. There are units that you can buy that cost as much as $3,000 to $5,000. And these $3,000 to $5,000 units, they will take they will alkalize the water, and they will give you like 9.5 alkalinity and so forth, which is great. But to alkalize the water and not take the toxins out, I often ask people, what's the benefit of drinking dirty alkaline water? So you got alkaline water, but the toxins are still there. So that's the beauty of this, is going to do both. It's going to alkalize it and it's going to take the toxins out. So you have the best of both worlds. Now, there are some things that those units do that ours don't do, like create acid water. Now, there are a lot of benefits of having acid water. A lot of people, and I had an aunt that died, this has been about 10 years ago. It was amazing to me. She died from being too clean. And when I said being too clean, she was always, if a spot got in the sink, she was getting her Clorox and she was wiping it and so forth. And she spent all day cleaning and so forth, breathing in all that Clorox and all those, all those other toxic things. Like now they got us washing our hands with toxic things, the alcohol and so forth. All day breathing in those toxins kill you. So, the things that she was doing, trying to, keep the house clean, she didn't keep her body clean because she was toxifying her body, and it killed her. So, the thing about this is that now we have, you have some of these units that will create acid water, and that acid water would do what the Clorox did, as far as, clean those counters and clean the sinks and all those other things, but you're doing it with water, just changing the alkalinity. Now ours, doesn't create acid water, but if you want to buy one of those expensive machines, that's great because you get the best of both worlds. But just remember, those expensive machines don't take the toxins out of the water. So we have a lot of people that want the best of all worlds. They get one of those machines that creates the acid water to clean with. There are some people that when they get things like acid indigestion and different things, they can drink that water. The certain acid water levels, and it helps to overcome a lot of those problems that you would get.
Mhm.
But price wise, we're talking about, for instance, this unit I have here, we're looking at about $50.
Mm.
Now, where can you get 9.5%, 9.5 alkalinity, clean water for something that's right around $50? And this will clean about 200 gallons of water. Now, when I look at 200 gallons of water, okay, the average case of water that you buy when you buy bottled water has about has 3 gallons. So when I look at 200 gallons, that's about roughly about 65 cases of bottled water. And the average case of bottled water is about $4. So you multiply 65 times, $4, you're looking at what, $250 roughly.
Mhm.
So for $250, you can get roughly close to 200 gallons of water. But like we said, is that good water you're buying? For $50, you can get the same amount of water that is clean. It's 99.9% detoxified, and it's 9.5 alkalinity for a $50 replacement. Actually, buying this bottle, the replacement filter in here is, I think, about $30. So it's like getting $250 worth of water for $30. But the water you're getting here is a whole lot different. It's a lot cleaner than what you're going to get buying the bottled water. So that's what we have. Now we have a water pitcher, which I didn't bring that up, but the water pitcher will actually do the same thing. You pour your water, you run it from your tap into the pitcher, and it'll do 200 gallons of water. You can replace those filters for about $50, but you got 200 gallons of clean water. Now this system has been tested by over 300 laboratories, the best laboratories in the world for water. They have tested this system, and they came up with the figure of it being 99.99% pure as far as their test. It's been tested by over 30 countries throughout the world, because we've sent these units to countries like Haiti and so forth after they've had issues. And of course, they tested it before they released it to the people. So we're talking about something that's tried, proven, and tested. But anyway, let me just give everybody a link. So if you're interested in getting more information and purchasing this, because again, it's only like an average, if you get the pitcher, which will be for the whole family, it's about roughly $100. And this will be something that most people get 2 pitchers, because for the people that like cold water, they'll take a pitcher and put it in the refrigerator. For those that like room temperature water, they'll just leave a pitcher on the counter and run tap water through it. But these units are roughly, as an associate or affiliate, this is going to run you about $90. The bottle I showed you is about $50. And we do have a straw. And the straw is very convenient. Anytime I go to a restaurant, I used to just leave the water on the table when they were putting water on the table. When I leave, it will still be there. Now I take my straw and put it in the cup, and that straw filters the water, and I get 99.9% pure water from the straw. Wow. So I'll give you a link, and this link is actually a Apostles link.
Yeah.
So if you want to look this up and order it, you can go to Care Beyond. That's CAREBEYOND, carebeyond.com/IREATL. I'll repeat that again. That's CARE, B as in boy, EYOND, carebeyond.com/IREATL. And you will find actually the water products. We also have some CBD products that are very, very effective. We have a lot of testimonies on these products. We have probiotics. We have products for relieving pain, and we have products for energy, sexual enhancement. I mean, all kinds of things that, it's just living that improves your health. It improves your body. And All that's on this site. So again, carebeyond.com/IREATL, and you will see all this information on that site. As a matter of fact, if you just want to go directly to the water, you can do carebeyond.com/careblue/IREATL, and that will bring up the water products specifically. But if you want to see the whole line of products that we do offer, what you see on the screen, carebeyond.com/IREATL, you will see all the products that Care Beyond offers. Some of the testimonies are just almost unbelievable. We had a lady that had been blind for 15 years. She started taking the products. Now, we won't say that this is going to happen with everybody, but after she was taking the products for about 6 to 8 months, her sight was recovered. And the doctor discovered that it was the things that she was eating, what was going into her body, that was prolonging her not regaining her sight. She got some prescription from a doctor, and the medication she was taking caused her to go blind. So again, that's what I'm saying. The side effects of the medication, it made her blind for 15 years. But by taking these products, her body, which is a natural healer that came from the natural healer, we read about, talked about some of the Bible, the natural healer, our body has that ability to heal itself. But when we compromise it a lot of times with chemicals, we hinder the ability for it to heal itself. So anyway, these products are amazing. We have a pastor down in Tampa, Florida, that has lost 120 pounds. I take what we call our health pack. We have people that had no energy. They were very lethargic. And, they woke up every day just simply to go back to sleep. And now you got some of those people that are walking. We have one guy that walks 5 miles a day. So anyway, I didn't know how much time we wanted to spend on this, but I just wanted to give you an overview on what we do and how to get to
You don't know what it is.
to Apostle's site.
Yes.
Can I ask you to repeat that link you had, the last one you gave?
Okay, it'll be carebeyond.com/careblue. The water is called Care Blue. So it'll be /careblue/IREATL. So that'll take you directly to the link that goes into the water products.
They said it's Care Blue.
Yeah, carebeyond.com/careblue/IREATL. So you just put in Care Blue in the middle.
Okay.
And that takes you directly into the water.
Yeah.
And we also have an income opportunity from this. We have people making, actually, when we had a lot of economic issues a few years ago, back in 2008 and so forth, and a lot of people went through foreclosure, the government said that the people who were making, the average person that lost their house, if they had been making an extra $300 a month, it would save the house. So we have an opportunity that you can make $300 a month. Of course, if you're like some people I know, you can make an extra $3,000 a month, or you can make an extra $30,000. All these things depend on you. If you are a very outgoing person, you're aggressive, you want to spread the word, then the more you spread the word about something, the more you can benefit. But it's a win-win situation. You win by sharing information with people, and the people win by getting the information and getting these great products that are going to help improve their health. So we also have a situation where you could make extra money. And maybe next time I come on and we have some of the slides and so forth, I'll even share some of this information. But the beauty is that we are changing people's lives by changing their water. There's a little slogan we use: change your water, change your health. So if you change your water and you start drinking healthy water, it's going to benefit your body by giving the body the water that it needs to stay healthy. But you're putting pure, clean water in there, you're going to definitely improve your health. One of the first things we get from people is, I talked to a young lady a couple of days ago. She said, "Oh my God, since I've been drinking that water, my skin has become so clear. It's become, just people are noticing, what are you doing to your skin?" And it's just from the water. The president of the company, always had, I forgot what it's called, rosacea or something. And his skin was always kind of head bumps and so forth. After about 3 or 4 months of drinking the water, all of that went away. It actually cleared up his skin. So things that will heal you and help you start from the inside and they work out. A lot of people want to do it the other way. They want to go get all this makeup and everything and put on the outside. And they don't realize a lot of times that that's causing the problem. You're putting things in your skin because, like I said, the skin is a pathway to the body. So you're putting poison sometime on your skin and it's going in your body. So instead of, it might make you look better temporarily, well, you take that stuff off. Sometimes you look worse than you did before you started using it. And I'm not knocking makeup and so forth, but you just be careful on whatever you get. Make sure that the elements that are in it are not toxic, because that's going to end up going in your body. But when you got that natural glow from the water you drink and the food that you eat, you're going to be much more beautiful sometimes than the artificial glow you're getting from the, having to make up. Because now you got natural skin that is not blemished and bumps and so forth, because you're healing from inside out instead of outside in. Okay. I don't know if you had any questions, whatever, because this is a long subject and we could go on and on about different things.
So, I was going to ask you, how often do you have to change the filter for the pictures?
Okay, it'll go for 200 gallons. Okay, now 200 gallons, if it's just, let's just say personally, if I'm just drinking it, God, it may take me 6 months, 7 months, 8 months to drink 200 gallons of water at home. But if I'm sharing it with, say, 4 people, a couple of children or whatever, and there are 4 people in the house, it might be only 3 months. But if they were buying, for instance, a case of water a week, and most people, I talk to people, they buy 2 or 3 cases of water a week. That's, say, 4 cases of water, that could be $16 a week. So in a month, they're spending, what's that, 4 times 16, that's $60 a month. And say this lasts for 4 months, 3 months, that's $180. Well, a filter only costs roughly about $50. So they've actually saved the difference between $50 to replace the filter versus $160 to buy some poison water. So the idea of this is that you want to eliminate the bottled water. Another bad thing about bottled water is that you don't know where it came from, how long it was there. A lot of times when you buy water, and I'm not picking on Costco or Sam's or Kroger or anybody, but it's sat in their warehouse for a year before it got to the store. And do you know many people that air condition a warehouse? I said, no, why? Because they're just using it to put stuff there till they send it out. Well, these plastic bottles are made from petrochemicals, which means the same thing that gasoline is, a petrochemical. And when they get hot, the chemicals that's in the plastic leach, which means it liquefies and becomes part of the water. It mixes with the water. So here you are drinking water that's been in a warehouse for a year that's now poisoned because the heat has caused the plastic to leach, and you're drinking plastified water. That might not be a real word, but that's just my word. You're drinking water that has plastic in it. And what happens? I've read some articles lately that some doctors have been doing autopsies on people, and they're finding their organs laced with plastic. Where did that come from? It's because of all the plastic that was in the water they were drinking, and now it's starting to recompose on the organs of the body, and the organs are being cased with plastic. So you want to eliminate as much as possible drinking the bottled water. A lot of times you go to convenience stores and you see them with cases of water out in the front, sale, telling you to buy the water, and it's sitting right in the sun. So you know that water is getting hot. And the plastic is leaching into the water. And the first thing we do, oh my goodness, let me get this. It's on sale. You're buying poison water because it was cheap.
Slowly killing ourselves.
You're right. So we're adding to the problem instead of resolving our issues. We're buying into the problem.
Well, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was just asking if you have any other questions, because like I said,
I was gonna say that you mentioned something earlier about back in the days where persons were going to the backyard and getting like natural bush for remedy for whatever illness it might be.
Right.
And you were saying also that sometimes when persons would go to the doctor, they'll be asking them what medication they're on, and
Right.
seem surprised when you're saying none. But I can attest to the fact that my husband had leukemia some years ago, and he was home doing his home remedy.
Hmm.
Each time he went to the doctor, they were always surprised. They're like, Mr. Blair, what medication are you on? And he's like, I'm on no medication. And nobody could believe that he was on no medication and he was ill.
Hmm.
So even after he went and did his chemo, he took almost a year to do chemo. And the only reason he did chemo was because he found that he could not breathe when he was getting winded going upstairs. But even after chemo, they were still asking him, what medication are you on? Because after chemo, he was never on any medication and still isn't on any medication. And they can't understand because what he uses is natural herbs.
Right.
Do know that he's a living testimony of natural herbs. And I
Right.
think Dwight was one of the persons who helped him along the way. Thank you, Dwight, because my husband takes just natural herbs. And he gets on me for not doing what he's doing, but I don't know. But he does natural herbs. So I know for a fact it works.
Right.
I know for a fact because even when he had leukemia and was getting out of it, getting his chemo, person still didn't believe he was sick. He didn't. I mean, initially yes, but after a few months, he started looking like better than he was before. So I do know that natural herbs do work.
Oh yeah. And as a matter of fact, man has tried to put himself into a position that he's a better God than God, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah,
So when you go to the doctor, a lot of people almost, I mean, they don't consciously say this, but they have made their doctor their God.
true.
Because I have approached people with natural remedies to things, and the first thing they'll say was, "Let me go ask my doctor, can I take this?" It's like you got to ask permission of your doctor to do something for you. I mean,
And
your doctor is not your creator. He's
no,
not the one that controls you or
yeah,
whatever. So why do you have to ask the doctor, can you do this?
mhm,
Now, it might be wise in some cases to seek an opinion from him. And I do that oftentimes. I might go to the doctor and he'll say, well, you have this issue, you have that issue. And I go and I look up, I get with somebody like Dwight, and I say, well, they said I had high blood pressure. What's the natural herbs I can take for that? They say I had diabetes, I had cancer, I had this, I had that. I said, what natural herbs can I take? Because before there were doctors, there was healers.
healers.
Yeah, healers. And
Yeah,
these healers could overcome whatever a person had.
yes. And
That was
you said you said that tonight, and you also said about going to the doctor with one problem, being on
Mhm.
one medication, and ending up with a shopping bag of medication.
Right.
I whispered to my husband, "That's me," because I went with one situation, and I think no, I'm on like maybe 9 medications,
Mhm.
and even this morning he was on me, was like, I don't know why, I keep telling you about that bush and you won't take it, you won't drink that tea, you know even this morning he was saying the same thing. And when I think about it, I'm on all these meds, and I knew I had COVID recently, and they had me on some medication that when they discovered, they were like, we're gonna take you off this because it's bad for your heart. And so yes, you going taking one thing, and when you down the road, it's causing other problems to the body. So,
Mhm.
I totally agree with you that the benefits of herb surpasses the medication that you take, the
Right.
drugs that you take. The drugs, they always have some great side effects. Nothing
Right.
simple, but usually it's something that you don't even know what to do with yourself.
You're right. Well, in the scripture, it says in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. It
Yeah,
didn't say he created the heavens, the earth, and Pfizer.
No, he
the
didn't.
heavens and earth and bear.
Mhm.
And so forth. So in between the heavens and the earth, that meant that all the solutions that the
There.
creature, he's the creator, we were the creatures, all the solutions that was needed had to be found between that heaven and the earth. And we live on the earth, so
Mhm.
everything was there. There was even, I'm not even sure this is in the Bible. I hear a lot of philosophers said that my food is my medicine and my medicine is my food.
Yeah.
And so, the thing about it is that everything that can heal us comes in what we put in our bodies.
Yes.
And we start putting toxic chemicals in our bodies, we're going to get toxic effects from those toxic chemicals. And, again, so many people just believe in these chemicals, and the medical industry didn't get started pretty much until like 1915 or so, when the Rockefellers decided that they wanted to create institutions to make money and provide people with medication, and that's when the pharmaceutical business got started. So we're talking about something that's only 100 years old. Let me ask you, Apostle, when you go out, when Dwight goes out in the bush, are these bush more than 100 years old? So would you rather take a remedy that's been around and was created by the master creator, or would you rather take something that was created by Pfizer or Bayer or Johnson and Johnson or some of these other people who are trying to be okay? Another thing that's common, we hear it but we don't hear it, is that I'm going to go to Dr. Smith. Say, well, how good is he? Well, he's been practicing for about 20 years. Excuse me, he's been doing what? He's been practicing. Well, when you practice, that means you're still working on getting perfect. And so you're practicing. So you want to go to somebody that's practicing, or you want to go to the earth that's produced positive results, and the earth and the herbs are not practicing anymore. They've been around and they've been proven, but the doctor is practicing. So when you go to the doctor, you're letting somebody practice on you. And I mean, and lo and behold, some of the things they're coming up with now, and they're telling you the truth about them in the beginning, that, okay, well, we got an experimental situation. We got an experimental drug we want to have you to take. We want you to be a lab rat. So come take our experimental drug, volunteer to be experimented on, and we hope it works. When I was in school and we did experiments, we didn't know how the experiment was going to come out. We could have blown up the vial. We could have blown up, set this classroom on fire because we were experimenting. So we didn't know what the experiment was going to come out, or how it's going to be. So unless you want to volunteer to become a lab rat, why would you volunteer for an experiment? It's different if they said this has been tried, proven, and without a doubt it works. But when they tell you up front that it's an experiment, unless you want to be experimented on, why would you voluntarily go and become part of an experiment?
All right, good night, Bernetta. How are you? I just see Bernetta steps in a while ago, but I'm not hearing her. But we'll see if she comes in. Continue, Brother Nate.
Okay. So the point I was just making is that we can go to people that tell you that they're practicing. We can go back to natural healers that have been, you might say we won't say they are perfect, but they are using something that was put here by the master healer or by the creator, rather than something that was created in a laboratory. And they're practicing on you every time that they give it to you. How many people have you known that they put on a certain medication? I think you just said this a few minutes ago. They'll come in, they put you on a certain medication, and then you go back and they say, oh, that was not strong enough, or it was too strong. And they'll take you off of it and give you something else. Why? Because they're practicing on you. And hopefully they say, well, we practice long enough, maybe eventually we'll get it right. But so, we got to take our health back into our own hands, back to nature, back to the creator who made these things for us, because we came from the earth. And of course, when we pass away, we go back to the earth. So logic says that the earth has a solution for our problems. If it doesn't come from the earth that we're made of, that we came from, then it's not going to agree with our bodies, because it was something that a man made, and you weren't made by man. I don't see a tag on the back of us saying Ford, Chevrolet, These things, we weren't made by some factory. We were made by a creator who has a solution to all of our issues, all of our problems. So we have to go back to the things he made to overcome a lot of these issues. And Dwight, in my conversations with him, he's talked about different herbs that, and a lot of the herbs give you a clue. You have things like walnuts, for example, that looks like a brain. And I heard people, a lot of healers say, eat walnuts because they help clear up your mind and these things like this. There are beets that are red and blood is red, and people that a lot of times have blood issues eat a lot of beets. There are a lot of things that's in nature that you can go to, you can eat that will resolve issues that you have. And you go to the doctor and the doctor will be amazed. I've had situations where starting years ago, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And when I first went to the doctor, I was like everybody else. I believed in the doctor because that's all I grew up hearing. Go to Dr. Jones. He's good. And, he'll resolve whatever. So I went and I took the blood pressure medicine and I started noticing that the side effects, I'm getting lethargic. I'm getting, sick. And I mean, all kind of things was coming about from that medication. And then I started reading up and said, I don't want to keep taking this stuff. And I told the doctor, I said, this causing me too many issues. Can I stop taking it? This is something else I can take. So they, again, practicing, they put me on another one. And that one was making me, every time I would stand up, I'd get dizzy. And then I had some that was making me cough. I wasn't naturally walking around coughing because a lot of times, back in the day when you cough, that was a sign that you on drugs. And I mean, not legal drugs, but you on those other drugs. And people said, oh, he must be because he's coughing all the time. And that wasn't natural. That was coming from the medication. So I just made up my mind I was going to stop taking it all. And the doctor said, you can't do that. Once you start on, you got to, keep on. Sound like a drug dealer. You start on certain drugs, you got to keep on doing it, or you're going to get, you're going to get the shakes and all kind of stuff. So I said, you sound, to myself, I said, you sound like a drug dealer. So I stopped. And then what they was doing is that when I went in and my blood pressure was higher than normal, they said, did you take your medicine today? Well, I told a little, most time I tell you, I said, no, I haven't taken it yet. They say, well, you should, you don't take it first thing in the morning. Well, you need to, when you leave here, you need to take it immediately because your pressure is a little high. And so next time I come in, I said, oh, you know what? I forgot I hadn't taken the medication yet. So my pressure might be a little high. Just tell them that. They said, yeah, it is. So you need to start taking it first thing in the morning. You first get up. And then I started getting on doing different herbs and so forth. And each time I go in and they would check me, it might be a little higher. So they make the dosage a little stronger. I get on the herbs. I take the herbs when I come back in. They say, oh, wow, that really worked. That's great. Keep that up. As a matter of fact, look like we hit the right button this time because it's down quite a bit. As a matter of fact, we need to get it down a little bit more. So let me give you a little stronger doses. That's okay, doc. I go sometimes fill the prescription and throw it away. Just about every time. But then I would take my herbs and I go back and they said, wow, you are doing so good. Look like we got the right one this time. So yeah, thank you. And I haven't taken the first one. So the thing about it is that just to keep them happy, and so that my report, because a lot of times I was in the insurance business for a long time, and I was told by some of the health people that if you totally disagree with your doctor and he tell you to take different things, you become so adverse, it goes on your record sometimes. And if you go try to get another job and they look at health records, they'll say, oh, this person, is always, he don't do what the doctor says, and he's probably going to be sick all the time because he doesn't agree with the doctor, and he might not be a good employee. So I go in and get the medication and I throw it away. I'm probably contributing to the water pollution because I had been doing like everybody else. I take the medication, I put it in the toilet and flush it down. That's why when you drink city water and even when you drink bottled water, again, you're getting a lot of medications that's in the water. They're saying that the water now is polluted with so many prescriptions that when you ask a person, are you taking any kind of prescription? They say, no, I'm not. So do you drink tap water? They say, yeah. Okay, you're not telling me the truth. You are taking medication because the filtration systems that the cities use, the counties and so forth, cannot remove medications out of the water. So any medications that you dump down the toilet, other people dump down the toilet is in the water, and people are drinking it every day. So that's another
Med-
reason to use this system, because it does remove the medications out of the water too.
Okay, unmute.
Sister Bernetta. Sister Bernetta.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Welcome to
It's
the
so good to hear you guys.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's exciting listening.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, brother. Brother Nate. You're on the dance floor tonight. So, because the information is so powerful and it is very good for the folks out there. And I hope they are listening around the world. This is Irie ATL. And I hope you are listening. I hope you will continue to listen. And there are so many truth that come out of this tonight, and I see Brother Nate could go on and on and on. And I tell you, I totally believe in this medicine that have been given to us from both Brother Nate and also, Sister Bernetta and Brother Dwight, and all put together make so many change in our life. So if we could take a moment and really check it out, especially in the water with our alkaline water that can do great benefit to our body, I strongly believe that you should really look in it tonight and examine yourself and just give it a try. Just give it a try and see if you find any difference in it.
Yeah.
Am I right, Brother Nate?
Oh, definitely so. Again, it's amazing how just changing your water
Yes.
will change your life.
Yes.
And Nate,
Go ahead.
when you drink the right water, it's wetter water. Wetter water is something that you would not think about, but that water is so special to every cell in the body because it is smaller than the average waters that are presented to us these days. That water is so small that it absorbs into our cells, into our bloodstream, into our organs. And it's, just changing your water can change so many areas of your life because, like I said in the past, when you get the right water in your body, you don't want acid waste in your system anymore. You don't want it. You begin to drink water like you've never drank in the past. I talk to people that say to me, I don't like water.
Mm-hmm.
And they, when you're born, you have 90% of your body that's water. That's why babies smell so sweet. They're so full of water. And then as we begin to get older and start consuming the sugar-laden products and drinks, by the time a person is over 50 years old, sometimes they are closer to 50% water.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine how everything is struggling in your body to function, to cleanse, to detox the waste and the toxic things that we are exposed to. every day of our life. When you cry, when you breathe, if you hold a mirror up to your nose, you are losing water. Every time you sweat, you urinate, your body is losing essential water in every part of your body. So when you begin to hydrate, it becomes a habit. You're like, I can't wait to wake up to get a big glass of pure, clean water. And throughout the day, that is what you'll be moving towards. You will not want the other things that you're using. And if you do, you begin to use good water for them. So when we develop that habit of getting hydrated and drinking minimum our body weight in ounces every day, how many people do you think do that every day? Minimum half your body weight. Think about what you weigh right now, divided in half, and a gallon of water is 128 ounces. And if you are not drinking minimum half of your body weight in ounces every day, you are severely dehydrated. So just focusing on changing your water is going to change a lot of other parts of your life, because you will stop eating garbage and begin to gravitate towards real nature, food that nourishes. So it is life changing. If you don't do anything else in this beginning, especially in this winter time, because we're in these heated buildings and the humidity and everything is not balanced for people. You know, they're saying if you just put the right humidity in a room, put a pot of water in a room and watch it change your life, just the humidity. So that's why all of us have to become so conscious and everyone in our family, because if we start drinking water, everybody else will too. Because you make sure you got pure water available all the time. You know, I have it in the refrigerator, on the counters, 2 and 3 pictures, a straw in my purse. I got a bottle that I walk around with, because I am so excited to drink good water. that you you realize that water is life. And right now we need all the life we could get.
Yes, we do.
Let me comment on a couple of things that Bernetta said, and then you can continue, Bernetta. When you talked about the size of the molecules of the water, the smaller the size of the molecules, and we find that alkalized water has very small molecules, and our cells are a certain size. Okay, let's say our cells are the size of a golf ball, and the water molecule is the size of a basketball. Well, can you fit a basketball inside of a golf ball? Nope, it won't happen. The basketball is too big. But if you got the molecules of the water small enough that it will fit in the golf ball, then it'll work. You can get that small molecule of water. Let's go to something even more understandable. We take a baseball, and let's say that the cells in the body was the size of a baseball, and we were trying to fit a basketball into the baseball. The basketball is too big. It won't work. Okay. So the water that we're drinking is like a basketball, and it's not penetrating the cells. But if you were drinking water that was the size of a golf ball, you could fit a golf ball inside of a baseball because the golf ball is smaller. So when you come up with the alkaline water after it's been gone through our system or some other system that's made the molecules smaller, it'll fit. So now you can hydrate your body because you're coming up with something that the molecules are small enough to fit inside your cells. Another thing you said, you kind of implied it and got to, is that a lot of times when we don't drink enough water, we gain weight. And the reason we gain weight is not because we were hungry and we were eating so much because we were hungry. A lot of times we were just thirsty. And our body was saying, hey, put something, I need something, I need something. So we interpreted that we needed food when all it was water. One of the best diets I ever went on was a diet that I just drank more water. And believe it or not, from drinking more water, I lost more weight than when I was on one of these structured diets, because now my body was not showing hunger. I was really showing thirst. So when I started drinking more water, actually all that toxins that was in my body that was building up the fat and all these other things, the water was washing it away. So many times, again, we're not hungry, we're just thirsty. So go ahead, Bernard. I thought I'd just mention those from some of the things that you said.
Well, like you said, it's so many times we feel hungry and we begin to stuff our face with food, knowing that a lot of it is not really food, but we begin to just consuming it. And in reality, we are just thirsty. When I first began to drink the water, I was having problems with my memory. I'd walk in a room. Why am I in here? And looking around in the room and did not realize that it was a fog on my brain because I was so dehydrated and I was so acidic. And I, knew that something was beginning to happen. Also, acid reflux. When I'm riding down the street in the car and I got 7 bottles of water rolling around in the back seat. Why? Do I have 7 half empty bottles of water in the back seat of my car? It was because I would open a bottle of water and begin to drink it. And it was so acidic that it was causing indigestion. It was causing me to burp and things like that going, and I'm listening to myself and wondering, why am I feeling like this? And why am I not drinking this water? Well, I took this water to be tested. And when I found out how much acid I was drinking from bottled water, it was mind blowing. That's when I started to drinking alkaline water and getting really hydrated. I was drinking it like I had never drank water, like I had been in the desert all my life. That's how your body craves it when you finally get the right water. Your body just demands it. So regardless of what it costs, you'll figure out a way to get it because you finally are drinking water that makes sense for you. And I finally found out that I'm buying all these cases of water that's sitting in the garage in the heat, sitting in there in the freezing temperatures. And then I'm putting this in my body and the plastic and all these things that I was consuming. No wonder my brain was suffering. I was not hydrating, none of it. And like I said, If your brain don't get the water it needs, it will shut your lungs down and take it. If your lungs don't get the water it needs, it will shut your colon down and take it. Your body has to balance itself. And if nothing else, we find that we can last quite a few days without food, but you can't last for so long without water.
Mm.
And next to air is water. So if that is the change that we make this month, this year, is to change the way we are hydrating our cells and our bloodstream. If 90% of your blood is water, and you go in to get to the doctor, I've had so many people say to me, well, the doctor sent me home today because they couldn't find any blood.
Mm.
I said, excuse me? They couldn't find any blood.
Wow.
And I gave them 2 or 3 big glasses of water. They went back to the doctor's office and he was able to draw the blood that they needed. Because those veins will not give you blood if you don't put the water back into your bloodstream.
My.
If 90% of your blood is water. So people that are having blood pressure issues and all of these kidney issues and bladder problems and joint pain and all of these things, just hydrating your body, minimum half your body weight, you will see every one of those things change.
Yes.
And then if you get raising your pH, you will see everything change because no disease can live in alkaline tissue.
Wow.
We are too acidic. Stress is the number one acidifier. So if you could get through a whole day without any stress, you good. You are good. So I am so thankful that we are able to get water now, that I don't have to go buy plastic bottles and sit them in my garage. And I don't know how long those things been sitting in warehouses and on trucks, and it could be years. And I'm thinking I'm getting a good glass of water, but my brain and my digestive system, everything showed me
Yes.
that my biggest problem in life was not drinking the right water. So it's some good, bad, and ugly out here, whether we like it or not. I just saw the list, the dirty dozen on the internet yesterday of all the cities where the water is so bad that
Yes.
they're, I saw them change in the city that I grew up in. I heard them announce one day that we're not going to use chlorine anymore. We're going to use chloramine.
Hmm.
And I listened to this commercial, and they said that if you have kidney problems and if it's a baby, don't give them this water that we're getting ready to change because it was less expensive for the city to buy the chloramine. And the reason was because it don't have the smell that the chlorine have. But chloramine was chlorine plus ammonia.
Hmm.
And I'm listening to this commercial, and they say, on a certain date, we're going to change over from chlorine to chloramine. Well, most of the people in that city that heard that commercial, they don't hear it. they know that words are being said about the city changing, but they don't hear that now it won't be just chlorine, it's going to be chlorine plus ammonia. And when we start seeing dialysis clinics on every corner, and we wonder what is sending our kidneys into failure, what is doing it?
Yes.
And when we realize that it's simple as purifying your water and pulling up the pH of it, it will change your life. Nate?
Okay. All right. Let's see if
I
Apostle.
get passionate about it because I see
Oh,
our kids out here so angry, because I know that they're so full of acid waste that it's affecting us, So it's exciting to be able to say, just try a straw, anything to change what you're drinking, to see next week how you feel. And then when people start drinking the right water, I heard husbands and wives arguing, he drank my water. And neither one of them were drinking water in the past. But when they finally got the right water, it became a battle in the house because they're scared they're going to run out. But that's one thing we can never run out of is good water. Back to you, Nate.
Okay. All right. Apostle, I don't know whether you have any questions or anything.
Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah. We hear you. She not hearing?
Hello.
Yeah, you're not hearing us? You're not hearing us, man? You're not hearing
I
us?
think I lost you.
No? You there?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, you're there? All right, don't worry. We got you. But anyway, Brother Nate, these are food for thought, and what you have said tonight, it is so powerful. And we just glad that you can take time out of your time. But let me give you a water break. Let me just play this song and give you a water break, eh?
Okay. All right.
Yes, Lord, we bless you. And we glorify
Hey,
you.
Bishop Blair, you know you can.
Hi, this is Landry Johnson.
Fill life completely. This is what I long to I lift my hands to give. I need some voice to honor you, Lord. I know your praise. Hallelujah to the Most High God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah to the Most High God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's a privilege to worship. To you we give the highest praise. Surrendering all our weakness. Let your strength fulfill our days. We lift our hands to worship you, Elohim, we give you praise. Lift our voices to honor you, and we love to sing your praise. Hallelujah to the Most High God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah to the Most High God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, Jesus, you're the Son of God. Oh, Jesus, oh Lord, we give you the highest praise.
I want to take time out to thank all the listeners around the world. I have seen so many people tonight just log on from all over, from Canada, Jamaica, Boston, Massachusetts, Mexico, and you name it. And the countries goes on and on tonight. And we just want to thank you. And I hope you log on the website, Tenari ATL, and make sure that you take a taste of this water. Just try it out and see what it will do for you. And there are a number of other things that would like to talk to you about also. But we just trust by the grace of God that you will take all these things. Thank you, Jamaica Land. We love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for logging in. All the people around the world, both on YouTube and Facebook. And when you go over there, we just want you to make sure you pay attention and listen what we have to say. Next week, we'll be coming back with some more episode of things to tell you about, but we want to thank Nate tonight. And as he continue to talk about, I notice he's drinking his water steady just to show you what he is doing. He's enjoying his alkaline water. And as a plumber, I didn't pay attention, Brother Nate, much about the water system apart from just putting in the system and making the money and keep it going. But now that since this program has begun, Sister Bernetta and yourself, Brother Dwight, and as Brother Nate said something tonight about 50, I'm 65 now, so I think I'm doing well. And I thank God for the natural herbs that create some more life in my body, you know, and I could tell you room after room what take place in my body, you know, and I thank God for that. But, you know, on a very serious note, we have to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, because it's very important that as we go along life journey, we have to make sure that we are on the right path, you know. And I want to thank you again, Brother Nate, for introducing and opening up to us on this areas. There are hundreds of people in line. When I look at Ray the Boss, there are thousands of people in line. I wish I could uh, uh, name out all the countries and tell you that are online that are listening to the program. People look at me, see just a few, and Facebook. That's nothing. If you go on the Ray the Boss side, and next week we'll have another station, 89.1 FM, which is joining us to help to spread this news. So we are doing our best to put the word out there. You know, we know what's gonna happen later on with the authorities, but it's okay. We are ready for the ride. You know, Brother Nate, take it away.
Okay. Well, those that can see, I went and got my straw, and this is something that I hope that you can see it on here, those that do have visual. And this straw is something that I really consider miraculous. I use it, I take it to restaurants when I go. As I said, at one time when they would put water on my table for me to drink, I would turn it down. When I leave, it would still be sitting there. But now that I have the straw, I can just simply take the straw, insert it in the glass of water, and now I can just drink the water right through the straw. Now,
So
I wonder, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you. So that straw, the filter that's inside of that straw changes the water.
Exactly. The filter that's in here is the same filtration system that's in this bottle.
Okay.
And the bottle will filter the water to take out 99.99% of the toxins in the water. Well, this bottle is very convenient. And oftentimes when I go into restaurants, I'll take the bottle and I just pour the water in here. Or if I'm just walking around all day and I want water, you know, I'll pour the water in this bottle and I can drink the water in the
Yeah.
water. I have a friend, I talked about him previously. He goes fishing all the time, and he was wearing himself out because where he fishes at is kind of up a hill. He has to walk up a long hill to get there from where he parks. He was taking a case of water with him a lot of times. And he said by the time he got up the hill with that water, he was beat. So now what he does, he takes this bottle on his fishing trip, and he takes the bottle and he takes the top off, dips it in the lake, and now he drinks the lake water, and that lake water is purer than those bottles of water he was taking up there with it. Because again, this is going to take the pollution out of the water, the toxins that's in the water, whether it's coming from the lake, whether it's coming from the faucet, or wherever it's coming from. You could actually, you know, I'm not recommending this to anybody, but you could, if you had a storm and the only water that was left was the water in the toilet, you could actually take this, fill it up with the toilet water, and you're going to be drinking pure water. Yes. It won't be toilet water when it comes through the straw on here. Now, that's the bottle, but now with this straw that we have here, you can take any water, you can put the water in a cup, a glass, or whatever, and you can just sip it. And when it comes through the straw, it's 99.99% pure, and it's alkaline. Yeah. So this is real convenient because it comes in a little container here.
Yes.
You can just take it, put it in a container, put it in your pocket, and now you can take your instrument to have clean water anywhere you go through the straw. So that's another thing. Now the other part of it that we have, and I went and got this, is the pitcher.
Yes.
Now the water pitcher, as you see there, those that can see there are two filters in the pitcher. Now, when you pour the water in the top, or you run it in there from the tap, it stays in this reservoir. And as it drips down into the container here, it's going to come out in the container as pure water. And you just simply take it, and now you pour it in your glass. And now you've got clean water, straight from the pitcher. So we have 3 distinct things that you can use from the pitcher, which, as I said earlier, you can take one. If you like cold water, you can put the one pitcher in the refrigerator. For those that like the room temperature water, just take the water, run it into the pitcher, and just let it sit on the table, on the counter. So you can have the best of both worlds, one in the refrigerator, one on the counter. If you just only drink cold water, just have one in the refrigerator. But now, because you have your own system, there is absolutely no need to spend the money to buy polluted water. You can take the water from your tap and you can pour it through the pitcher, the bottle, or sip it through the straw. So there's no excuse for not having pure water. Now, I gave one of these straws to each of my grandkids.
Yes.
Because after I schooled them on the importance of drinking pure water, they were going to the water fountain, of course, at school, drinking water until the I call it scamdemic, whatever. So they came along and they started shutting down the water fountain, saying, okay, you can't drink water from there anymore because the boogeyman might be in the water. So now they tell them to bring bottled water with them. So again, they're drinking polluted water when they drink the bottled water. So I gave them a straw. I said, when you go to school, you can go to the sink in the restroom or whatever, and get you a glass of water. Some of them I gave a bottle to. I said, you can take this bottle and wherever you can get water, just run the water in the bottle. And now you got clean water, alkaline water that you can drink anytime. So they love it because now your kids you don't have to worry about your kids becoming toxic from drinking the toxic water, something we kind of take for granted. So we have as a matter of fact, we offer a package when you go on the site that those of you that you can see on the screen,
yes,
carebeyond.com/careblue/IRIEATL. These are offered on the site. You have the straw, you have the bottle, and then you have the pitcher as a package. And all 3 of these are only $161. So to have alkaline water available wherever you go, whether it's in a restaurant, whether you're at home, whether you're at a lake fishing, or whether in Houston, Texas, I think last year, they had a storm that came up that was a surprising storm, and it knocked the water out because the pipes were destroyed. The whole infra system was destroyed because of the storm. Well, they had to ship water in there, and a lot of people, because of the storm, for days they didn't have water. Now, if they had the straw, the pitcher, or whatever, and even if it was snow, they could scoop the snow up, put it in the pitcher, and eventually, when it melted, they could drink pure water from the snow, or from in any lake or in any water that's sitting up. I mean, even if it was water that came from the roof, that the spout, if you could put the pitcher at the bottom of the spout and get water, you would have fresh, good water to drink from, wherever you can get it, because you have one of these systems. But otherwise, without the system, you had to depend and wait on the bottled water to come. So that's the beauty of this, is that you always have access to pure, clean, alkalized water, no matter where you go, wherever you are. Years ago, these are some people you might not remember, Jerry Lewis, and
the movies.
Yeah, from the movies and so forth. He was a good friend of the guy who invented this, a guy by the name of Carl Palmer, and they used to do demonstrations of the water. And what he would do, and this might sound a little gross, he would tell the people the importance of having clean water, and the fact, like I said, that water is something that we use over and over again. A lot of people don't really hadn't really questioned or noticed this, but water is heavy. So when the United States or Russia, whoever, when they launch spacecrafts and they send people into space, well, they've got to keep that spacecraft as light as possible. Now, if they were taking enough water, they were going to stay up there for a month, and they were taking enough water for 2 or 3 people for a month. The weight of that water would make would be really very heavy for 3 people for a month for water. So guess what? They don't take water with them, not in a container. The water that they drink is the water they took with them that was in them.
Wow.
So, I don't know whether you get that.
Wow.
The water that they take with them is the water that's in them. That's what they end up drinking.
Just with the straw.
Well, the water that's in them
Yes.
comes out as what? Urine, right?
Yeah, and then they drink it back.
And they drink it back. And why are they able to drink it back? Because they run it through a system like this. That is taking the water, is going through the filtration, is cleaning the toxins out, and it's coming out the other end as pure water. So this is space technology. Now you have space technology that you can use right at home, run that dirty tap water into it, and it's coming out as clean, unpolluted water. Jerry Lewis, when they did one demonstration at a golf tournament, and what he did, he said, "Well, I'm thirsty. You guys know this is kind of before the days that bottled water became popular." He says, "Oh, I know what I'll do." He says, "Excuse me for a minute. I'm going to run to the restroom." He'd go in the restroom and come out with, of course, urine in a bottle, and he would just show how pure it was. He would take some, and like I said earlier, you can take this bottle and you can squeeze the water out of the bottle, and no matter if it's even dirty water, and I didn't realize that it would come out fairly clear on here. I could have shown you a demonstration. I can take dirt and put in this water, and you'll see that this is very dirty, but when I squeeze it out, it's going to come out absolutely purely clean, because the fact that the dirt is filtered out because of the filtration in here. And even when we do our demonstration, we use potting soil. And potting soil is actually a combination of rich black dirt and manure. So, some of you that might not be country boys or country girls might not know what manure is.
I know exactly what it is.
But potting soil is dirt and manure. We do a demonstration and we'll pour potting soil in one of these bottles, which is very black and dirty, and we will squeeze it out. And as we squeeze it out of this bottle, it'll actually come out and it'll be perfectly clean. So that's what you have here. You have your own portable water filtration system that you can carry with you anywhere you go. So you don't have to worry no matter where you are. I spent a lot of time in Nigeria a few years back. I was there about 2 years, and I was always told, don't drink the water. That if you drink the water, literally you're going to die if you drink the water. So my 2 years in Nigeria, of course, all I drank was bottled water, every day. And then I thought about it when I would go to restaurants and I would get, a cold drink. We would put the ice in the cold drink. And I said, "Well, what is that ice made of?" They said, "Tap water." So even though I was drinking clean water that I thought when I was buying the bottles of water, but I was putting the dirty ice in there to drink the so-called clean water. So with a system like this, I would have never had to worry about that, because no matter what water I put in this bottle or I put in that pitcher or I drink through the straw, I'm going to drink 100%, well, 99.99% pure water. And again, it's not my opinion that that's the case. It's not my thought or theory, but we've had over 300 of the top testing companies in the world that all they do is they test water and they test the purity and the pollutants in water. And between 300 of the top testing companies in the world, they have all come up with the conclusion that this water is up to 99.99% pure. So that's saying a lot. I just had a lady, someone called me today, and they said, this person said, "Well, how do we know your water is clean, is pure?" We said, "Well, we have companies that have tested this, and we even have in the back office, when you go to that carebeyond.com/careblue/IRIEATL, on that site, you can see some of the test results, and it lists even the the serial number of the test. So you can contact that company and say, look, I want to check on test number 198387, whatever. And they'll come back and say, yeah, that was a test we did on a water filter. And it'll probably use the Carl Palmer. It was the inventor. We did this on Carl Palmer's water filter. And through our tests, we tested for this, all some of the big names of the things that they test for. And it tested that it removed all these items. Another thing that it removes that a lot of people were surprised of, and matter of fact, I was quite surprised because I didn't know that we had radiation in the water. Radiation, actually. Our water has been irradiated, and this came from some of the nuclear accidents, like in Japan. They had the nuclear accident where the nuclear plant exploded, and the pollutants, the radioactive material, ended up going into the earth. And of course, what's in the earth? Our water streams that we get our drinking water from. Our water streams flow into the rivers, which flow into the streams, which oftentimes flows into the ocean. Well, guess who Japan shares an ocean with? It shares it with the West Coast of the United States, which means places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, all those places, Washington State, down our West Coast, is going to get water that's come from Japan. So if that water was irradiated and now it's here in the United States, our water is going to end up being irradiated. Now, a lot of our water flows from underground. So when that irradiated water maybe goes through the ocean and the ground actually purifies it, makes it fresh water, it's going to end up, maybe it was in California. So I live in Georgia, that's on the other coast. Well, we have underwater streams that run from California all the way across the country. It might take years to get here, but it's going to eventually get in here because the whole earth is an ecosystem. The air, the pollution that they have in when I was in Nigeria, it was a lot of times the air was very polluted. All the smoke that was in the sky from the factories. Well, I said, well, that's just in Nigeria. But guess what? 2 or 3 weeks later, that same pollution was in New York because the whole earth is what you call an ecosystem. So the point is the radiation that first showed up in Japan is now here. We're getting children that are having problems with learning and so forth. Why? Because of the radiation that's in their water that they're drinking, and it's causing them problems with learning, just like in Flint, Michigan. So with this system, when you call some of those companies, they'll say that we even tested for radiation, and this system removed the radiation from the water. So something that you didn't know was there, you go home and you turn the lights out and your family's glowing in the dark. That's because they've been irradiated. Now that was a joke, but people kind of relate glowing in the dark to having been exposed to radiation. Well, if they've been drinking water, you might turn the lights out and they might glow in the dark because they've been irradiated with the radiation that's in the water. But if you have this system, you have the bottle that I have in my hand here, or you have the straw, which I showed you a few minutes ago, or you have the water pitcher that I showed you, you don't have that worry anymore because that has been removed along with the PFOAs, which are the toxins that I talked about that came from factories, the aluminum, the heavy metal, all these things that collectively will kill you eventually. And it's not like you're going to drink a glass of water, a bottle of water at 12 o'clock and 12:10, you're going to be dead. These things start to accumulate in your body over time, and collectively over time, it actually can poison your body. So you can remove that worry by having one of these systems. And I see on the screen here, you have the site that you can go to, careblue.com/careblue/IRIEATL. So you go to that site, you can purchase these units. Again, less than $100. This is what I have in my hand is like $52, US. The straw that I showed you earlier, that's in this nice little convenient pack you can put in your pocketbook, your pocket or purse, is $32 US. This will last for 50 gallons of water. In that, the water that comes in cases is only like 3 gallons to a case. So that means this is like having 3 in the 50, that's like 15, 20 cases of water. 20 cases of water at $4 a case will be $80. This straw is $32. The $80 worth of water that you get from the bottled water can be toxic because we don't know where it came from. Plus, it could have sat in the warehouse and now you got all the plastic in the water. This is going to purify whatever water you drink through the straw for $32. So you get that peace of mind by having these products because now you know you're drinking the best of the best water because you filtered it through the system. So go ahead, Apostle, if you have any other questions, because like I said, this is something that we could go on and on about and so forth.
It's almost 10 o'clock. We're up against our time. We want to cut it off here and come back next week when we'll do it all over again, you know, and talk to the folks and let them know how powerful this is for them to, you know, get some clean water that can do goodness to their body, allow them to live longer, allow them to feel better, healthy when they get up in the morning. And we hope and trust that as they listen around the world tonight, and you can go back and check out our website at IRI ATL and listen to the program again and listen to all these information that we share with you tonight. This is powerful. And we just begun. We have some more ropes to lay out next week when we come back again. We thank Sister Bernetta for joining us tonight. And I know she's still there. She's listening. And we thank for her. Next week, we're going to touch some more stuff, Brother Ned.
Okay. Next week, now that I see that visually you can, you know, based on the monitor I'm looking at, that you can see the water, the pictures and so forth.
Yes.
The demonstration that I told you that we do, we're putting the dirt in the bottle. I'll actually do that next week so you can see it.
I'll give you a wider screen also that they can see the demonstration.
Oh, okay. We'll do that now next week and you can see. I'm gonna, you know, put some dirt in the water, shake it up, and you'll see that the water is obviously dirty. And then I'm gonna squeeze it from the bottle and you're gonna see pure clean water from the bottle. And I'm going to drink it, so, of course. So, and that's going to be the beauty of seeing it and knowing that you have, again, the peace of mind of knowing that whatever water you're drinking, you know, you don't have to worry about where it came from because when you put it through this system, you are guaranteed by the test, over 300 tests, over 30 countries around the world, that you're getting the best pure clean water that you can get.
Yes, sir. Any closing things, Sister Bernetta?
Yes, the closing remarks that I have for everyone is raise your vibration, raise your energy, your consciousness, and vibrate on a frequency that's so high. That's why we have to detox our bodies of all of this poison and garbage, and we're going to bring everything we can to increase and enhance our life beyond anything we've ever known. God bless you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. Before you go, Brother Nate, and something like somebody in Canada, how can the Canadian folks, they just go on the website and order it and you'll mail it out to them?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have a few representatives in Canada, so we are actually live and well in Canada. As a matter of fact, we are actually live in 30 countries around the world. Because we are dealing with water, we don't have an issue of getting approved like a lot of the other products and so forth that are offered in places.
Yes,
because we're talking about water, and water is everywhere. It's not a drug. It's not something that FDA or some unit has to come in and say, let's see if it's healthy, because water is life. And they're drinking the polluted water, and people are living off of that, even though, they are hampering their health. So if they can drink polluted water, and we can offer a solution that, again, has been tested and proven by the top laboratories in the world, we can ship it to anywhere.
Hey, you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I hope that answers your question in Canada. And I trust that you continue to listen to us. Thanks again. Brother Nate, you want to give your closing thought?
Okay, just those of you that can't see a screen, you might want to write this down. Go to Care Beyond, that's CARE Beyond, B is in boy, EYOND.com/Care Blue. That's CARE, B is in boy, LUE /IRIEATL. And that'll be Apostle's site. And when you go to that site and order, you are ordering it directly from Care Beyond, which you'll see a lot of other great products on there that will be very instrumental to your health, products that can help with pain. We have so many testimonies of people that were in very bad pain that overcame the pain by using some of the Care Beyond products. We have probiotics to get that gut straight. People never think about the importance of the gut. But actually, the gut has a brain in it.
Yeah.
People say that statement, I had a gut feeling that this was going to happen.
Yes.
You never thought about that. But scientists and doctors say we have 3 brains in our bodies. We have the brain in our head. We have a brain in our heart, because people say, I love you from my heart. You can love only from your brain. So that shows that a brain is in your heart, so to speak. And then you have the brain in the gut. And if you don't keep either one of those brains pure and clean and pristine, you're going to have heart attacks. You're going to have brain attacks because you're not taking care of that brain that you were given. So your gut is as important as your heart and as your brain and your head. So we have products that will keep that gut straight. So go to that site, carebeyond.com/careblue/IRIEATL, and learn about what we've been talking about tonight.
You're listening to IRIE ATL Radio, IRIE ATL, Atlanta's #1 Caribbean station.
You heard it first. And the IRIE ATL station. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you around the world as you listen tonight. We thank you. You saw me looking back on the screen because I'm looking back on the people on the Radio Boss side of this network. And these are just the folks that that just listen to the program. But a lot of us are fortunate that we can see what is taking place. So we try our best to explain to those who some people are in their offices and they are not able to look at the screen because of reason, with their boss. So they listen on Radio Boss and able to get the knowledge from this program. So tonight, may God bless you. We hope to see you next week. We're going to ask Brother Nate if any at all, we can even lengthen this program also and to give you some nuggets on Saturday morning, even for 15 minutes, that you will get to know more about this product. So God bless you tonight, Brother Nate. I want to thank you. Thank you, Sister Bernetta. Thank you for those in line. Thank you everywhere around the world. Whatever you do, be safe. And just remember, your health comes first. And water is one of the greatest things that you can ever find from the beginning of time that will make a difference in your life. Stay tuned as we do it every Monday night in the 3Bs, where we spread the word that water. And I'm going to make sure that next week I have a commercial for you. All right? So God bless you. God keep you, Brother Nate and family. Have a great night.
All right. One love.
One love, brother.
All right.
Walk upon the sea, raise the dead. You reign in majesty, mighty God, and everything within about you is great. Said you are great, yes, you are only one. You walk upon the sea, raise the dead. You reign in majesty, mighty God, and everything within about you is great. You are great. You are great. Oh, you are great. Yeah, yeah. You are great. You are great. Say you are great. Everything is great. You are great. You are great. Oh, you are great. Yes, God. You are great. Say you are great. Say you are great. Everything about you is great.